Evening, everyone. I mean, hello. Oh, well, that's the same. There's some kind of greeting. Welcome to this stream. Having a bit of a chat about all sorts of things, TCAP and other things. As always, lock up your children because Andy's with me. And I'd like to say a big hello to Dax. Hi, Dax.
G'day.
And, of course, you can now say hello now. I've abused you a little bit, Andy.
I'm not sure I want to. I'm going to salt.
Well, that's not going to make for a good stream. I've insulted Andy.
I'm going. You carry on.
Within the first 3 seconds, so now he's going to cry in the corner. So first of all, we should probably introduce how we know Dax from a trolling session. Is that such a thing? Well, Dax trolled Andy and myself, me more so.
Well, mainly you, but if everybody in the chat, Dax, you appear under quite a few different avatars, don't you, shall we say?
Yeah, and I got a new one coming up, but I'm going to keep that one in the pocket for now. I'm still working on it. But, yeah, I mean, I wasn't trolling you guys specifically. You just took the bait. So.
Yeah.
It was funny. We can talk about that a bit more. But one of your... Are we allowed to say the name of your other avatar? We don't want to give it away.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, Dr. Richard R. Ape.
Oh, of course, yes.
Who runs around in the comments creating havoc every now and again.
Yeah. Well, he's got banned from Twitter now, so I got to come up with a new one.
Yes, we should warn everyone in the chat. This might be quite obscene and very dark humour. I don't think Dax has as much filters as well. I wish I had less of a filter, but I found ever since making things for YouTube, as much as you wish you didn't, you end up pandering to people.
Well, no, you told me to behave myself. I'll behave.
No, but
we don't mind as long as Adam's channel doesn't get deleted. Be as controversial as you want.
Yeah,
don't say that.
Well, I'm trying to think when we took the bait, Dax, did you just leave because it all started in one of Lorne's comment sections, didn't it? I think.
Yeah, can we summarise for people what we're talking about in case they don't know very briefly before we go into details? About a year ago, me and Adam were continuously doing videos about the Lorne saga and all the Ramona shit because there was all sorts going on, and we were making videos literally 2 or 3 a week sometimes, and all of a sudden a character called Dax Dessy appeared and presented herself as you explain, Dax.
Well, it's a ridiculous name. Let's start with that.
I knew you'd say that.
Oh man, that was a great video. It was before the Ramona was public, I think, and I don't know. I just was talking with some people, and they were they're from the left, right? And they're crazy. So I was like, man, these guys are nuts. I was like, I should create one. And I think they were trying to normalize pedophilia, like they do it with you're a homophobe. And I was starting to hear rumblings of pedophobe, and I was like, man, this is going too far. And I was like, well, I should make one like that. So anyways, and it was when Lorne had his channel, I just started, defending pedophilia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Didn't you first appear in his video sticking up for
in the comment sections, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because me and Emma were like, who's this motherfucker?
Yeah, going on about Japan and how it's only 13. And getting angry at me because I was saying, no, you shouldn't fuck kids. And you're going, everyone's got a right to it. Well, that's sort of summarising it a bit. Everyone's got a right to fuck kids.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, well, you're just a pedophobe then. And I ran with it. Obviously, Dax is a trans person, extremely left-leaning, HIV positive, of course, because, it's pretty much...
No.
Oh, right.
That's fine.
So anyways, I just started defending Lorne, and I thought it was just hilarious. I just would laugh. To me and my buddy, right, we just love to laugh, so... I just thought it was hilarious. That's basically it. But then I got a little upset because you made the first video and I thought that was hilarious. But then I was like, I don't know. I like you guys because I used to watch your videos. So I was like, I'll just let you guys know this is a troll.
Yeah, well, it was when I was staying up until 5 a.m. to have a debate with you, and then you messaged me to say you don't need to stay up all night.
Yeah, just so people are aware, what happened I think there was quite a lengthy... you know what we should do? We should try and find... my channel got deleted, didn't it? The videos were deleted. But there was a lengthy exchange between me and Adam and Dax Dessy about like Dax was trying to argue that there's nothing morally wrong with adults having sex with children. And it was like one point where we made a video out of it, we were just going, that person is sick or whatever it were. I think we tried to like keep it as nice as possible because I can't believe we fucking fell for it, me. Because just the thing is, Dax, what we liked about it was you spent quite a bit of time creating this character, and the way it was like you was playing a proper role. It was like you was good at acting because everything that you said was based around what this real person would be. It was like wasn't she like a student, a lazy student,
yeah,
who was a transgendered person?
Gender studies, so very educated in a very top field. Yeah, I mean, I just was talking with those people, and I was like, these guys are insane. So yeah, I had to do a lot of research into these nutsos, and I was just basically using their talking points.
So people like this, they do exist, don't they? It's like the super I think SJW, we've discussed it before, but it's a term that's kind of, the meaning isn't really what it means anymore. But like a super snowflake, I suppose you could say.
Oh yeah, it was great. The best part of it in those early days was all the hate mail I was getting. It was just constant. It was so funny. I had some guy made a name Dessy Dax, and then found me on Skype, of course, because it's just Dax Dessy. Anyone can find it. And he was just constant, and I was just laughing, and I don't know, he thought he was trolling me, but he didn't understand that it was right into my hand. So I had some good exchange. I had someone from Rhode Island try to fight me, and he met me in a mall parking lot. And if I have one regret in my life, it's not saving that video, because he actually went there at 2:30 in the morning. And nearly beat up a Mexican looking for me. I photoshopped some pictures of me in that mall. So it was a good character, had a good run, but I think I'm shadow banned from like 90% of channels now. So my comments don't even show up.
So there's a legacy behind Dax that we're not even aware of. I mean,
there's a lot more going on than us.
Yeah,
having a little debate with
car
you.
parks. I mean, what are you kind of? Is Dax Dessy's name on the FBI's most wanted list?
Probably, I don't know. Well, no, it's shadow banned from that list now. You can't find her anywhere.
Were you using the character of Dax in other communities?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It just started there because I thought it was a good way to, cut my teeth on it with the character, but it just went everywhere.
Were you actually a TCAP, someone who was interested in To Catch a Predator, or was it just another community you were like, right, I'm going to fuck with some people in this?
No, I actually used to watch it when it aired, like in the late 2000s. I used to watch it every day. And then one day my cousin was over, and I was like, we should watch some To Catch a Predator. And then that's where I found out all this stuff about how Lauren was such a figurehead, and I was like, this is crazy. And that's how I found Andrew's videos, and it was it was interesting. I couldn't believe there was like Church of COD and all that. Man, that made me laugh. So then when he started making his own videos, I was like, I got to get in on this.
Yeah.
How could you not do? You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think the most memorable part about the whole thing was after this massive exchange that we had. It went on for, how long did it go on for with this back and forth in the comments?
It was a couple of weeks, at least.
Was it?
So it was a while.
Because didn't we even make a video slagging Dax off?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
you were pissing your sides, weren't you?
Yeah. I shared that with all my friends. We were laughing.
Look at these idiots. They've done exactly what people want. Well, yeah, but that's, to be honest, fair play to involve yourself so much to a character to get to that extent, because you see a lot of people trolling, and I bet like if you made a video about them, it's exactly what they would really want.
Well, you guys were resistant for a bit, all right? Like, you were just ignoring me. I could tell. I think a lot of people were saying were telling you about me.
Yeah, well,
right?
I can't remember on which one of Lorne's videos it was, because we had a big exchange that went on for a long time in the comments section there before we got in contact. Yeah. I think it was after we made the video, and I was saying, well, I'd love to challenge this Dax to an argument about why you shouldn't fuck children. And,
I think it was I said you're not as educated as I am. You're about 1,500 books away from.
I remember that comment. Yeah, that got under my skin. I don't like people telling me I'm not educated.
As I'm working on gender studies.
Yeah.
Weren't you also like some lazy character as well as like being educated? You didn't have a job as well.
Yeah. Welfare recipient.
Yeah, that was right.
Wasn't the state paying for your operation, for your transition?
Yeah, I can't remember that, but I basically did that. So that was like one of the hooks. I'd say it was the most important subject you could take in school, and how science and math were for lazy people, and then tell them I'm on welfare. Yeah, that would really set people off. So yeah, it was good.
So can I ask any of the other communities that you forced your way into?
I don't even remember now. I don't even remember because, like I said, I've kind of benched Dax for a bit, and so I can't even remember. It's just everywhere, right? I just go into different things, video games, and oh man, I can't even remember now. But just a lot of different things, and I would tell them because they'd see that picture, the first one where it's obviously 90 pounds soaking wet, noodly armed, right? And I would tell them the one I got to come meet me in the mall in Rhode Island. I told him I took 6 years of kickboxing, and he's like, I'm 40 years old, and I've been martial arts since I was a kid, and I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, yeah, good luck.
Wait, this wasn't by any chance someone who made videos, was it?
No, he had a name, Jon Snow. He promptly deleted his channel as soon as I started.
Oh no, it's just I remember there was a guy made some very aggressive videos challenging Lorne to a fight and stuff, and I wondered if it was that guy.
Challenge.
He got his missus to strip off.
Yeah, in the videos.
Camera. It was fucking weird.
I don't remember. I vaguely remember that, but yeah. That guy. Wasn't he like a military guy?
Mm.
Yeah, and he kept saying to Lorne, I challenge you to a boxing match, and then he was like slagging him off, and he was saying, and then he made some videos and said that he got his missus to like take clothes off every time she answered.
It was like Lorne Bingo, wasn't it? But rather than shots, like his missus would take her clothes off or something.
Very strange.
Yeah, that guy's got something wrong in his head, obviously. But yeah, I did troll him for a bit until he just banned me. But
but what we the funniest thing about that, the most memorable part about it for me, and I'm not just saying this to poke fun at you, Adam, is that you took it all like, I'm not saying I didn't because I was duped as well, but you was up till silly o'clock in the morning.
I was looking forward to it. I thought it was going to be this real like battle of wits where it'd be like I would be like Milo Yiannopoulos, whatever his name is, Milo, against some SJWs, and I was sitting up watching Jeremy Paxman. I was like, yeah, I'm going to come off amazing. Like people are really going to see my debating skills tonight. And in a way, I was quite disappointed when it never happened.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. But I probably preferred being able to go to sleep, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess, like I said, I liked you guys. I used to watch your videos, so I kind of was like, oh, this is going too far.
Was there a point when you was gonna like maybe enter the debating character, or was it just too much for you to do? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it was just too much. I'm like, oh, okay, what am I going to do? Put on a lisp?
You did. I remember when I first spoke to you, you put on kind of a weird voice that was like high pitched to sound like you were a transsexual. So
yeah, on hormones, taking my estrogen pills.
Yeah.
It's an ointment. It's a cream. Yeah, but no, I was like, yeah, it's gone too far. Plus, at the end of the day, it was all actually to troll Lorne. Like that was the plan, right? And he did actually say like, "Oh, thanks, Dax, a lot for comments."
Yeah,
and,
I remember.
That was the point. But everyone else just kind of piled on, you guys and that Dessy Dax character, and just I got so much hate mail. It was great. I love getting shit talked on the internet. I think it's awesome.
I could tell you was reveling in it. To be fair, I thought your initial goal was to troll. Not to say that we were some kind of important people who needed to be taken down, but I thought you were. I thought the goal was to try and troll us and have a bit of fun with us. I thought that your comments towards Lorne was to add depth to the character, as if to say, well, look at this person, they're sticking up for Lorne, and then it makes it more believable, doesn't it?
No, but the thing is, it's more in depth than that, because it's like I think the character was started to see if Lorne would side with this person, and then this person would be like, yeah, I love paedophiles, and then that obviously puts Lorne in a very difficult position. But of course we jumped in, and
a lot of times I was saying things to make Lorne look bad, like what was it? Oh, I can't remember, justifying his actions, right? And I wanted him to agree with me that, he didn't really do anything wrong, which would make him look even worse, right?
If that's possible.
Yeah, and I was like, you don't need to pay, Betty back? She legally don't owe her anything, right? I was waiting for him to be like, yeah, you know what, you're right, or whatever, and just make him look even worse, if that's possible. But that was the original. But, it was just kind of like a shotgun blast, right?
And then we ruined it.
There's a lot of... No, it was great. You elevated it. It was just a bit of fun.
So what do you make of the whole TCAP itself, Dax? And Lorne in particular.
It was lightning in a bottle, right? They legally can't make a show like that anymore, and that's a shame. But... it was just great. I remember watched it right when it came out. And, it was on Thursdays or something like that on Dateline. And it was just one of those crazy shows, right? And it's just insane, the characters that came out. And I'll be honest, I didn't actually remember Lorne as a memorable character. It wasn't until, again, I watched it again on YouTube and then saw all the breakdowns, especially of his chat logs. I never read those, right? I didn't even know they existed. So when you were breaking down the chat log, I was like, wow, this guy he really is. I see why everyone likes him, or is interested by him, because he's just he's just insane.
Yeah, he is. He did stand out from the crowd a bit, didn't he? Not for good reasons, really.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite early on was the rabbi.
Rabbi? Yeah.
That was the one I remembered, and that was the main one I remembered, and that's what kind of got me.
That footage, the uncut footage of him is gold. It's something I never get bored of watching. It's just a fascinating exchange. It's like Frost and Nixon.
Yeah, you can see the moment when he's breaking down and trying to
He gets quite aggressive.
Way out of it.
The rabbi, though, I still think for comedy value, for their actual the segment on the show, no one beats Jean-Pierre Wary. Just the stories he's spinning that just keep getting deeper and more it's just, you literally watch him digging his hole and he doesn't stop. It's almost talented. He's just
looking for a job.
The Mexican on the bus.
Did he used to be a photographer? I think some time ago, maybe I was.
Did you work on Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah,
I saw
the movie. That's the best line ever. I saw the movie. I'm not sure if I worked on it, but I saw it. So maybe that's where I got confused.
Yeah, he was crazy. It's funny, you could see his eyes. There's not much behind him, but the little bit of gears that were there were spinning, right, to try to come up with something. It was just the most ridiculous things you could hear. It's fantastic.
You've kind of hit the nail on the head, though, Dax, with regards to saying lightning in a bottle, because it's only really hit home when you've said it then. We'll never get anything else like TCAP ever again. Even though Hanson vs. Predator came, I didn't particularly like it. I didn't like the production of it.
It's different. It's weird.
I suppose it's a little bit like, sorry to make the Star Wars reference, Adam, but I have to do one of streams. It's a little bit like comparing... Shut up. It's a little bit like comparing the original trilogy to the prequels. It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's kind of lost its magic, didn't it? It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
But there's people out there. There's people out there making cheap knockoff imitations of TCAP all the time. It's just no one does it with kind of the trolling. And of course, it's not the same, when you've got two dodgy looking blokes stood behind you. It's not the same as having a team of cameramen and police. But so Chris Hansen was able to troll them. And I think he lost some of the element of that. Like the way you would just read the chat log lines back to them when they're there was brilliant. But
all deadpan.
Yeah. But you see the people on online, like Predator Catchers and that sort of thing, and they're just so aggressive. There's no comedy to it.
No, it's not the same. Production values are low. I mean, they had a whole house set up, right? The only way I could see this actually coming back would be in some other country, right, where the laws are less lax, like Russia or maybe like a Chinese or something like that, right? Where here it's too many legal issues, and no network's gonna back it. And, yeah, it's a shame, but it was great when it happened.
But like you said, I just mentioned there, Adam, the comedy aspect of it as well. Who would have thought that something so dark could spawn so many amusing moments? You could just we could do a whole stream of hours and hours just recounting the pure comedy gold that came from it. It's quite remarkable. And
it's having a laugh at someone's expense, but it's having a laugh at someone who deserves that expense. So that's what makes it so funny. It's like
no, but it's not that, because what you're doing is you're talking about the intrinsic makeup of it, but really it's the effect. You're talking about the cause, but it's the effect that was funny, because just think about the certain people that got to say things like that guy that was going, "Am I going to be arrested?" And then he's going, "Oh, crap." It's like, that's proper comedy cartoon stuff there, isn't it?
That's worse, Andy, because you're just laughing at someone's speech impediment there, whereas what I'm saying is that Chris Hansen's...
No.
Yeah, well, am I going to get arrested? You're just going, oh, look, he's got a low IQ, he can barely string a sentence together.
that's a crude way
of part of it. But it's part of it. I mean, it was the whole package, right? All those things coming together. But I mean, that was just like a little bit of icing, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But, I mean, he was saying the whole point was that there's such comedy coming out of it, created by the show, right? The fact that they were put in these. Well, they put themselves in the situation, but it was, completely staged, and it was great.
Yeah.
But it is really dark. I think that was part of it, though, too. It had to be lighthearted because, it's dark and creepy, really, right? That these people are out there, especially early internet days. People didn't really know about it when the show came out. So, it was just great. Lightning in a bottle. I doubt we'll ever have anything on that level ever again.
No.
I don't even want this cookie.
Yeah. Take the cookie. Have a seat over there.
But then we still had ripples from it, like Lorne's YouTube channel and Lorne's lawsuits. And, well, it's all been Lorne who's created stuff since, or that we know about anyway.
Well, I mean, the Lorne trolling is still ongoing.
Well.
Yeah. Do we have any news on that? Or is it just speculation? I keep hearing things.
Someone told me I put a video out this morning, and someone's put a link to a new video on there. Something's going on at the minute. I'm sure some of it's funny, but I don't know. Isn't it fucking time? Like, haven't we got enough? Do you know what I mean?
People are going to do what they're going to do.
As long as it's funny, I'm good with it.
No, yeah. I know. It's.
I think, it's something we've discussed to the nth degree. That was my main issue with the Ramona saga, was it just got repetitive and boring towards the end. Other than that, when it was entertaining, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, so he fucked her in the ass part. That got really good, and then it kind of peaked. It peaked on the crying calls, and then got kind of boring.
And I suppose that's terrible, because again, that's me laughing, but at someone's low intelligence. I mean, who would believe it when someone just calls you up and tells you that your internet girlfriend you've never met, but they've sent a private detective to spy on her, and he's got his long-range telescopic camera out, and he's taken these. He's filmed it. He's filmed the whole thing, And where this other guy, her therapist or whoever it was, doctor, fucks her in the arse, and then she turns around and does a bit of ATM. And he's sitting there going, like, trying to take it. You can tell he's believing every word. And he's going like, so he
Sucking on
fucked
her
her in the
own
ass.
shit.
Yeah. Ain't that pretty?
Yeah. And then the best was the little touches like, oh, he can't transmit this video since it's illegal in this state. So it just has to explain it, what's going on, you know?
Yeah, but he's got a copy of it for himself to watch over and over.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, I don't know. It depends, because it's like the whole Chris Chan thing. When I first, some of the things, it was like, yeah, this is kind of innocent trolling, and then after, it's just no one knows where the line needs to be drawn, does it? The thing is,
Yeah.
like, he must have some kind of mental retardation.
He's just very unsophisticated. I think the first Mrs. R put it very nicely once and said that he's just not a sophisticated guy. He doesn't have a level of awareness that general people do to get through life in a productive way. He doesn't have it. Now, if you add that onto the fact that he tried to do what he did to a child, that puts you in a very difficult position. It means you're never going to have a normal life, because basically everybody has got license to do anything to him that they want, and they can justify it. So they can say, well, he tried to do that to a child. So even if someone wanted to murder him, which they won't, I'm not saying nobody wants to do that, they don't, but what I'm trying to say is, let's just say he blows his brains out because of all this trolling. People will justify it and go, well, it was his own decision and he did try and do what he did. I find that a little...
yeah, but at the same time, on the flip side of that, you could say, well, he you know, if he doesn't have learning difficulties of some kind, why does he not just go, all right, I've got to meet people in real life, I can't trust these people?
Of course, he has the ability to make the decision, and he always makes the wrong one. That's obvious.
Spends way too much time in karaoke bars. That'll do it to you.
I wonder if he still does that. Do you reckon he still does karaoke?
He probably just...
I'd say probably.
I don't know. I think he's probably bought himself a cheap karaoke machine, and he gets Roy out in the shed with him, and they duet on...
He didn't have one... Have you seen the videos of his trailer?
Yeah.
Doesn't look very tidy, does it?
No.
Kind of looks like your place.
My place isn't that bad. At least it's not a trailer.
It's derelict.
Yeah. Nice little...
I mean, one thing I wanted to bring up is, you've said it a few times there, Andy, about how you think that he's smarter than he lets on. But the fact that he scammed Betty out of money, and he's set up some things. But one thing I don't think he is. I think those were just opportunities that presented themselves. I don't think he's smart enough to plan anything, and from all the evidence.
It kind of came across a bit wrong. That I didn't mean that he's intelligent enough to start his own successful business and become an entrepreneur. I just mean that he does have a degree of intelligence when you compare him to some of the other predators. I think he's smarter than McFetridge, and I think he's a bit smarter than. What I'm trying to say is, you look at some of the predators, like Kennelly's a great example. He's someone who doesn't have a brain cell. He doesn't have one brain cell. Lorne, if you look at Lorne's lawsuits, they are ridiculous, but there has to be a level of intelligence to even get to the point of filing a lawsuit. Do you get where I'm coming from?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's got more than 2 brain cells, but I mean, they're not functioning very well.
No, not at all. I'm not saying that he's... Yeah. Listen, if he was going to put 20th cleverest predators, he wouldn't come anywhere near that top 20. He's just... I mean,
he's not going to win a spelling bee.
Yeah, what a ridiculous list. I mean, I did this video I did this morning, just going through the lawsuits, just for a laugh, really. It was... It's hilarious, because it's been years since I've gone through them, and the stuff that's in there is comedy, pure comedy gold. There's nothing quite like it. I mean, this is the thing that made that. I mean, we're going into Lorne territory here, but the thing that made the Lorne saga so interesting, because of the information we had about him, and it was all comical. We had the chat log, and we had the lawsuits. To have that level of information about another person,
The lawsuits were excellent. The lawsuit. I mean, when he was writing it, he's thinking, I got them, I'm rich.
Yeah.
When he's writing it, guaranteed he was salivating. Like, I got it. I found the loophole. I bet he was just talking with his, like, cellies, right, in prison, about how he can get back at them. Like, it looks like a prison lawsuit. Something that a couple of those bright bulbs come up with.
Yeah, like sitting there. Well, Lorne, you definitely, after he's convinced them he's not a pedo and he's wiped his mouth, then he sits down with them. And then he sits down with them and they go, right, Lorne, this is how we'll prove it. Like, oh, she used her female powers and all that kind of bollocks.
Yeah, it's all prison logic. It's just ridiculous. But I mean, yeah, he was guaranteed salivating, thinking he's got them.
80 million.
And he's going down.
80 million he thought he was going to get.
Oh, yeah, 80 million. Ridiculous.
I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? The 80 million. I mean,
he should have asked for like 5,000. They may have even just gave it to him.
Yeah, I think Nathaniel Trevor even said that in one of his videos. He's like, why don't you just go with a realistic figure? They might have just give it you to shut you up. Because at the time, they were getting sued by quite a lot of people, and that district attorney sting went down as well. They would have been shitting it, because NBC, they don't like to have anything to do with To Catch a Predator anymore. They don't. They always take the videos down whenever they can. Chris Hansen's doesn't even mention it much anymore, like the NBC stuff.
Yeah.
Can't be found on any of the websites. That they have to distance themselves from it as much as possible.
Yeah, plus, probably something less than what it would have cost the lawyers, because, lawyers don't sneeze without charging you, right? So guaranteed, unless they were in-house counsel, but even still, they don't want to be wasting time fighting this, even to get it thrown out. So you could have asked for something that would have cost less than that, and may have gotten it, but, it's Lorne, right? He doesn't actually think ahead.
No.
Or he thought he was going to win.
Well, I think he did. You wouldn't go to all that trouble like he did, pages and pages. I mean, to be honest, it probably got him through. It got him through the prison situation because he had a focus, and it was his proving his innocence because he believed he was innocent, and the delusions that he created in order to do it in his own mind. But what's interesting is he never reread the chat log. So in his mind, he had a different version of that chat log, which one where he was repeatedly saying no, where he was being the friend and the protector. So there's two different.
Yeah, Kayla, stop trying to make you play with yourself.
Well, it was edited, obviously, right?
Well, he still says that. He says that in the latest Ramona calls.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's he's crazy. He's absolutely crazy.
But I think with that, that's probably a lie he came up with in prison to stop getting a nonce bashing. And and it's probably one of those things that, when you lie for so many years, eventually it becomes a truth in your head. So he probably really believes it. But I don't believe any of that chat log was edited. There's nothing that looks out of place. It's all fluid and organic as much as it can.
Yeah, and you got to remember, his memory is probably like really short term. Like, he's obviously got some frontal lobe problems, or whatever part of the brain has less memory, right? Because he just doesn't remember things. He doesn't learn, So he probably did convince himself that he was the protector, telling no, and he was just a good guy, misunderstood.
A good old boy, he calls himself.
He's a good old boy. Just wanted Miss Vagina to meet Mr. Penis, and because he protects children.
Yeah, Mr. Penis protects children, the superhero that he is.
I care about fucking kids.
Yeah,
exactly.
That reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have watched Eastbound and Down. It's a brilliant show. If anyone in the chat is looking for a show, good sort of fun, like an American-made, well, I don't know if you'd call it a sitcom, but comedy. But there's a line in that where he's at his son's birthday party. He's like been sort of an estranged father for most of his life, and his son's just like a baby. And he goes like, right, and here's to fucking Toby. I mean, here's to Toby, not to fucking Toby. And that's like Lorne going, I care about fucking kids. It's like a Freudian slip. He cares
But
about.
he wasn't intelligent enough to realise what he just said. For a man in his position who's a registered sex offender to say, I care about fucking kids, is quite an error in judgment.
Yeah. That's basic error in judgment. That's his like middle name, pretty much. Yeah. You know, if they make an autobiography, that will be the subtitle. Error in judgment.
I've got like a couple of books that I'm gonna write before I die. One about my profession, another about like social elements and things, and one about the Lorne saga. Not one like Nathaniel Trevor did, but just about. I think it could be a good read about like you could look at it
cautionary tale.
Well, you could look at it from certain angles. It's like mirroring sort of the way the internet came into the forefront of everybody's lives and the negative aspects and how internet culture and subcultures and things like that and trolling. There's so much. It'd just be a fascinating story. It'd just freak a few people out, I think. It's like, I don't know whether I mentioned it. I was on one of these dating things and I was chatting with someone, and for a laugh, I wasn't really that bothered about this particular one that I was talking to because I was talking to a few, and I thought for a little experiment I'll send them the link to my channel, and then I never heard back from them. They were like...
Well, I'm not surprised. Like, the thing is, to the untrained eye, you could look like the king of the pedos.
Well,
the king of pedos.
That's true.
The Pied Piper of paedophiles, Andy with his whistle. Here's my guide to...
Yeah, I don't know if that's a crown you want to wear, but...
No. Well, it'd be even more telling if they had Lorne as a guest on one video one time. It's like, and here he is, after all these videos, give it up for Mr. Lorne Armstrong. Here he is.
I was upset when he never took your invitation at that time. I was really hoping he'd get on there for an interview.
I sent him a really well-worded message saying, like, I'll give you a chance to put your side forward. But he never got back to me.
Yeah, well, he's not allowed on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever asked him directly. The only communication I ever had with him directly was when I sent him a message on eBay, about getting his journal. And he didn't respond very positively.
Yeah.
His collector's items that
he told you to go and cry in the corner.
Yeah, that's another thing, isn't it? There's more like... That's what made these videos that we did about a year ago when the Ramona saga. I mean, I've made my enemies about this Ramona shit because I don't agree with the way it ended up at the end. And
she's insane, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know that person, so it's wrong of me to make judgments. I'll
do it for you.
All right, well, you crack on.
Go ahead, Dax. You're a guest.
Well, for 12, who sits on the? Wasn't she on for like 12 hours a day, at points for months on end?
Yeah.
Come on, that's a huge red flag. And then at the end, admitting that she does wear diapers. Like what?
It was also convoluted by the end, though. I'm not sure whether the whole diaper thing was just a ruse to try.
Well, I don't know. It didn't. It came off as kind of genuine. I re-listened to that a few times, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
I don't even remember that call, to be honest.
It pissed me off how she was babbling on, going, "I'm doing this if it makes." Protects one woman in Maine. That's like go be a voluntary member of the local fucking police force. Don't if you're gonna do it, be honest about it and just say you're doing it for your own personal pleasure. Don't fucking justify it saying you're some kind of superhero.
But this is where it becomes so conflicted because you're like, well, they are releasing all this stuff to the public, but then there's lots going on in private. So is it for their own, are they enjoying this person's company? And if they are, would they not keep it all to themselves anyway? So
yeah, definitely.
It's, and even... like if someone...
look before the... sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Look before... When the Pope went on as the therapist, they were scheming about what they were going to say, and so obviously it wasn't to protect a woman, it was obviously just to troll them. and put some funny content out. I mean, that was really at the end of the day. Just say that.
For me, yeah, I can understand putting out the funny content and when Sam was with them and there was like at least a purpose to what seemed to be happening. I don't really understand sort of why it was necessary for someone to be on the phone with him all day long, having lots of other conversations or anything. But we don't know the ins and outs of all of that, do we? And it's like I said, it's very conflicting because you don't know whether this person is doing it just because they're like, well, okay, they started off as a troll, but now I do quite like Lorne or something, as God forbid. Or if it's just like they're playing a really long game here, or is it like psychological carpet bombing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're saying like he was leaving the phone on while she was at work all day, and talking to Lorne for more than an hour would drive a normal person insane.
If it becomes part of your life, if it becomes part of your daily life or even weekly life involved with him or anybody like him, you're walking down a very dark path. And even to try and do that to anybody who's like the worst human being on the planet, and he isn't, no matter how much bullshit someone comes out with, you're going to end up a bit fucked up yourself. It's not healthy, is it?
No, definitely not. I mean, listen to the things he does and how needy he is and controlling and, and he's just dumb, right? He's just low IQ. He's constantly around this room temperature IQ, it'll drive anyone crazy. So that's why I was like, once there was more details, because all we got was the calls at first, right? A few half-hour calls. And then once you found out more about how they were actually on the phone for 12 hours a day at points, and it's like, well, wait a second here. This is more than like a troll. This is like this insanity, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I got from it.
It's kind of, I understand why some people had a dig at me and Adam, because it was my channel. Because I was at some point questioning her character and saying that it was wrong to do what they did, but at the same time it did provide some fantastic entertainment. So what am I to do? I can't go along with it like the rest of them did and refuse to say anything negative, because that would be lying to myself and to everybody else. It's like it was starting to go shit, it was getting desperate, and I think she even admitted herself that she missed Lorne. She actually said that, and I'm like, hang on a minute, you miss him? What?
Yeah, it's like a weird codependency that that was created. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it was fun. I just listened to it because I thought it was hilarious, but at points I'm like, oh, this is a little weird at the same time.
Yeah, and
I didn't want it to stop though.
No. Well, why would you? Like I said, regardless of the character of who's involved and the motives of the people, it did spawn some fantastic moments and some great entertainment. We can't deny it. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if it's all still ongoing, it's nothing to do with me what people get up to. But at the same time, I don't know. Should he be left alone or should he not? Maybe that's a topic for another time.
I wouldn't invest too much time wondering. If people want to get involved with him, that's their prerogative. You don't have to.
Exactly. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. I'd never do it like that. That's crazy. I got too much stuff to do.
Well,
I have a life to live.
I definitely couldn't spend 12 hours a day on the phone, but if that's what you want to do, you do.
Yeah,
you.
Right. But I'll still judge you though.
Yeah. Well, if you put any of it on the internet, I think that's the thing. Once something's been put on the internet, people will form opinions.
Yeah, and it's like when people were sort of calling us hypocrites and stuff. Well, I'm not too sure that we kind of were really, because we were just being honest. We're saying we liked it how it was originally, and then we didn't. It's a little bit like reviewing a series and calling it good and then saying it's going shit. You're not a hypocrite. You're just not enjoying it anymore.
Season 2 was the best. Yeah,
exactly.
Season 2. Yeah. But it was, I remember being sad when it ended, though. I'll be honest. But I still, like I said, I still was judging Ramona, saying she's crazy. But I still wanted to listen to it, right? So Doesn't make me a hypocrite. It just makes me, you know. Well, I don't care. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Yeah, if more calls were available, I would listen to them happily. I just hope they were more entertaining. I think the trouble is we discussed them so much, and we still are. They still provided a large part of what we tend to talk about in these streams.
It is an important aspect to the Lorne saga because it highlighted even more his desperation levels. We knew how desperate he was, but I think it made him appear even more desperate, and it made him appear even more stupid, and we didn't think that was possible. And I think that's
pathetic too.
Yeah, all of those things, all of the negative aspects to him as a person were highlighted even more and were more pronounced, and that's why it's an important part of it, and it's still going on now. But what we know now is that there's no end to the depths of not insanity, but there's no end to the depths of naivety.
And stupidity.
There isn't even a word in the English language. He's like his own creature, isn't he? He's got his own form of stupidity.
He's lornificent.
Exactly.
He's got his own form of human zoo for us to all stare at him as well. So he is like a creature.
Yeah, and like remember when he said like he drank 18 beers and drove because he thought she dared him to?
No, it wasn't. He had an argument. So his reasoning was he needed more beer, even though he'd already had 18. So that was fine because he had an argument with Ramona. It was all right to drive to the store after 18 beers.
Oh, was that it? Maybe I'm misremembering.
I think that was it, something like that. Or no, because aren't you thinking of like she said, "Why don't you insult women?" And he said, "Because no one's told me not to." Or because you haven't told me not to do it. Yeah. Oh no, you're right. You're right, Dax. He did. He said because you
dared me.
No,
I remember the word
because she hadn't told him not to. Like any scenario where he does anything like that, anyone should have the IQ to understand is not correct to do. He's like, well, you haven't told me not to do it. You haven't told me not to insult women. You haven't told me not to drink drive. It's like, well, those are things.
Didn't you know this?
Yeah.
Common thing, right? You told me not to try to fuck a kid. Maybe he just needed someone there to tell him who was wrong. I don't know.
Well,
he's just so lornificent.
He's just
what a strange creature.
I think it's why we find all this tale so interesting is because it feels personal to us because it's only a select few people that are involved in it. Like just a couple of thousand really that follow the Lorne saga. But it's one of the most interesting things. It could generate 10-part documentary series on Netflix, which could be made if produced and directed by the right people. Could be some of the greatest TV ever made.
I know there's just like a barrier for entry to it, right? Like you have to read a creepy chat log for a little bit to understand, right? Because if you just read a line, you're just like, this guy is sick. But if you keep reading and you go a bit further, then you can kind of see the delusions that he makes and the wild tales in his head and of love, and like you have to go deep. There's like a barrier for entry where it's just creepy on the outset. Yeah. But if you dig deeper, you can find all this, just magnificent hilarity. But
yeah, to outsiders looking in, it's a very odd thing to be interested in.
Yeah, but I mean, if more people knew the more nuances and the delusions and the desperation, once they could see that, then they'd kind of see like, wow, this is actually pretty interesting and hilarious and sad. And but until then, it's just creepy and weird and
But does it not seem odd to you that there aren't more people interested in it? Because this is a guy who was broadcast on one of the most popular shows in America at the time. We're not talking about some obscure TV show that had a cult following. Chris Hansen was on Oprah.
Yeah.
I would. Big, oh, sorry.
Well, what I was going to say is I actually, when I first watched the show back in the day, I didn't even remember Lorne. So maybe it's something like that. Like he was just one of the ones, right?
Yeah.
One of the predators. But it wasn't until I rewatched it and found your videos that I found just how interesting he was. But it wasn't until, so I can understand why he's kind of forgettable if you just watch it. You know, you're just sitting at home late at night, what Dateline comes on, you're not really paying attention, maybe. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think, Andy, you're misinterpreting how popular it was. I think it was, I mean, I never even heard of it until I came across YouTube videos of it and that sort of thing. It was, I mean, it was referenced in a lot of things. It was referenced in South Park and...
doesn't that prove how big it was?
No, it was pretty big. There was a lot of advertisements. They used to advertise all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not even that many episodes, is there? They only did, what, like 5 stings in total?
Well, they used to have a show. It was on Dateline. Dateline was on for years before, maybe years after. I don't know. But you know, Dateline was a pretty big show. They just used to do like murder mysteries and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like its own show. It was like Dateline to Catch a Predator, right? And that would be one of them. I think it came on twice a week. Dateline. I think it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. Don't quote me on that, but. So it was pretty big. Yeah, it was pretty big.
But it was just one segment in like a news show. It's like people going.
No, they did the whole show, like the whole Dateline show.
Oh,
would
okay.
Be Catch a Predator.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, maybe it was pretty big then, but I don't. I think it didn't. For a lot of people, it didn't have lastingness, and I think a lot of the people that get into the community now are like people that come to it late through clips that are uploaded on YouTube, and then they just fall down the rabbit hole. A lot of people probably watched it at the time and were like, "Yeah, this is awesome," and then they never thought about it again. That's probably why the community's not thriving or really growing larger than it is. It's not with no new content except for the lawn stuff as well, because you've got to remember a lot of people probably watched this and didn't care for lawn much at all. So unless you actually get into lawn, there's no other real new content from any of the other predators. So there's, you know, a community. How can a community thrive when there's no new content being created?
Yeah, that's what I think. It's getting to that point where, you know, it's kind of far off enough in the past, and NBC, like you said, keeps taking it out on the videos. So it's, you know, it's fizzling out, which is kind of sad.
Do you know what though? I made this video this morning about the lawsuit. I never get to a point. I mean, obviously, on average, I think I put a video out a week, which takes 30 minutes of my time because I don't do any editing. I will never dry up from doing lawn videos or TCAP videos. There's always a different angle to look at, even just lawn. There's always a different way of looking at the chat log. There's always a different segment that you can study. There's always a different part of the lawsuit or the footage that you can go into. It's just an endless supply of
I think at the moment, Andy, we almost feel almost completely conflicting ways about it, though, because you're saying all those things, and I'm like, well, I've heard about them all before, and I've read about them. There's really nothing I don't really want to think.
There's still people that, like, listen, I know that my channel only got as many subscribers as I did because of the amount of lawn videos I made. I'm not, like, under any delusions of grandeur, but when I make videos, people can't wait to listen to them still. There's, like, the one I put out this morning, like 200-300 views in space of a couple of hours.
No, but that, I mean, the most important thing is if you're still passionate about them and you feel you've got more things to say on the subject. For me, I just kind of feel like I've said everything that can be said on the subject, and there's not much left in lawnography for me. I hadn't announced it yet, but these are going to be the last few chats on the lawn subject, having these interviews with people. So for me,
that kind of me too.
Yeah, because and that's, you know, there's no new content for me. There's nothing particularly that's happening that's being shared with us to talk about. And even if there was, I don't know if I have that much interest in it anymore. Not like I used to.
No, I'm not bothered about any new lawn content. It doesn't interest me, but the story of him and what happened still interests me now. I find it a very fascinating tale.
Yeah, you got to write that book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even if just a few people read it, it'll be a worthwhile project.
Yeah, I think so. You can get your feelings out there, big guy.
Yeah, I'll have to. That'll probably be when I retire and I've got little else to do. I certainly can't justify spending my time on that at the minute. 30 minutes a week is more than enough.
That's true. Yeah, well, you know, you can do 12 hours a day for 7 or 9 months.
Yeah, well, maybe not. I mean, if I can find a job where I'm getting paid the same amount of money I am now for doing nothing, then I'll write that book within the matter of a few weeks. But until then, unfortunately not. But yeah, cheers for coming on, Dax. I'd like to say as well, what the good thing, we were a bit pissed off when we found out you trolled us, as anybody would be, because we'd been fooled. But what was good about it was you embodied what trolling should be, and that's good humoured piss taking. Because it was, you never personally attacked me or Adam, and it was never malicious. You just got her under our skin, and you was clever in the way you did it, and it was just, and it was good when you came out and you told us and you said, like, this is how it is. I've taken you for a ride. That's the end of it. Let's leave it there. And it was like, we were like, yeah, fair enough, and we just had a bit of a chuckle about it, because you see a lot of trolling that gets like horrible, don't you?
Yeah, well, definitely. My next one, I think, is going to be a flat Earth Christian.
Ooh,
I've been talking with a lot of them, so I think I may come out with like a flat Earth channel soon. Preaching the Bible to everyone, because I see those a lot and they're kind of fascinating to me. So I think that's the next one.
Yeah, I think that could do quite well, because Joe Rogan's even talking about it now, isn't he?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. People actually think the Earth is flat, and they're quoting scriptures to everyone. It doesn't matter what you say; they always got like a new Bible verse, and I'm like, man, I think there's some legs to this one.
Yeah, from the sound, I mean, people that think the Earth is flat should be fairly easy to take the piss out of, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, but I think I want to be the flat Earth Christian.
Oh yeah,
and take the piss out of everyone else.
Dax, I don't think we asked you. Do you find Chris Chan interesting at all?
Oh, I read him like a few years ago, like when they were first trolling him. But I think the last thing I really heard about him was, you remember when he pepper sprayed when he turned into
the GameStop employee. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, he's still around. But yeah, I guess there's still some stuff going down with him. But I don't know. He's worse than Lauren, like in terms of, I don't know. I can't get behind it. It's just kind of weird and creepy to me.
Well, I don't think the things he's done has been as bad as Lorne. He's even been worse, kind of attention whoring himself than Lorne. Although Lorne probably would have done a lot more attention whoring had he not had his internet taken away and such. But I mean,
he's extremely autistic too, right?
Yeah, so, Chris Chan is autistic. He's high functioning autistic, and he's also never done anything quite as dark as Lorne has. All Chris Chan did made it very clear that he was very obvious for a girl, and went and sat in a mall with a sign saying he wanted a girl.
But it's more than that. Didn't they like troll him, and now he's like he's a trans person?
Now he's trans, yeah.
I mean, who convinced him to do that? Like I said, I haven't really looked into it much, but I'm sure someone trolled him into doing that.
Oh wow! No, my theory on that is that I like to give him a bit of credit, because I don't think Chris Chan's deserved a lot of kind of the psychological torture he's had throughout his life. I mean, some of it was fun, but some of it's just too much. But I thought maybe it was quite a smart move on his part to get closer to girls by pretending he was trans, and then like start using their changing rooms and stuff. So
I don't know. It's almost too far for me. Like picking on a retard, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is too much with some of the stuff that happened to Chris Chan. It's a very interesting story, but some of it makes you really feel bad for the guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. It's just I guess it is too far for me. I'll put it on record. Too far. What they do to him.
Apparently the stream is buffering, but I think we've done nearly an hour, guys. So it's I'm just refreshing the stream to see if this works, because it was buffering. So hopefully they can still hear us. I don't know. Everyone's saying it's buffering now.
Okay. Right, should we? We've had a good run, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on, fellas.
Thanks for joining us, Dax. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been good. We're sorry we had to cancel a few times. That was Adam's fault.
Well, we just had some miscommunications, which is mostly Andy's fault, because he makes Lorne look intelligent.
What? Jeez, man.
So yeah, I'm not sure if the guys in the chat can hear us or not. If you can, guys, we're just wrapping up for the evening. So